Canada is communist.
Hi everyone. Dave the Doltano here, the internet's busiest political nerd, back with a new jam from Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. This time he is claiming that Canada is a communist nation and that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is a dictator. Oh God. All right, let's watch this and I'm going to break down just how stupid this is. And again, if you're new to the show, I used to watch this podcast, believe it or not, before he went completely insane. But here is this clip, and I will break down just how stupid this is.
Canada is communist.
Canada's crazy.
They're fucked. They're fucked. They got to get rid of that guy.
How much time does he have? I feel like he's been prime minister for a while. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't know how their system works up there. I have zero understanding of their system.
Yeah.
I never looked into it at all. I liked him. I liked him before the pandemic.
Trudeau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Seems sweet.
Yeah.
You know, it's like good looking guy, confident, good talker.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, I'm like, oh, you're a fucking dictator.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like criticism. You're trying to shut down criticism by saying that all your critics are misogynists and racists.
Yeah.
You hear he said that about the trucking people, the truckers?
He called them
all misogynists and racists.
Oof.
Yeah, he's gross. He's a sketchy guy.
Yeah.
And he's got some fucking shaky deals. I would like to see like where the money is coming from. Like why do you want everybody to get injected every 4 months? They don't need that anymore. Like what are we doing? What are you doing? You can't even get into Canada unless you're vaccinated.
Can't get in?
No. Make sure that's true. Because someone just told me, Whitney just told me, she had to show her fucking vaccination card to get into Canada.
That seems
It's a little
like it adds up further.
It's old.
Yeah.
Like it's 2022. It's not 2019.
Okay, I will break this all down. Let me just start by saying I like Tom Segura. He's the guest on there, a comedian. And I feel like Tom Segura, if he wasn't friends with Joe Rogan, he would be making fun of Joe Rogan. He's the kind of guy to make fun of people like Joe Rogan because of how goddamn stupid this is. But you see him there. Tom, I don't think knows anything about Canada, so he's trying to move the conversation along. He doesn't want to like harp on this too long. So if you watch the full clip, he goes on to push the conversation to like New York City. And look, I'm sure there are positions I don't agree with Tom Segura on, but I feel like he's not going to just randomly espouse garbage he knows nothing about, the way that Rogan does. So let's go through that. Starting with, actually, to be fair, maybe the one true statement made in that clip, that Canada does require vaccination to enter the country for non-Canadians. But here's the thing. So does the United States of Communist America. CDC policy here, requirement for proof of COVID-19 vaccination for air passengers required for non-U.S. citizen, non-immigrant passengers arriving from a foreign country to the United States by air. The U.S. has the exact same policy. Canada, communist. America, freedom. So dumb. So dumb. And it shows you how Rogan is completely oblivious. If you watch his podcast for simply entertainment, you enjoy the stories about, the comedians and what they're doing behind the scenes and the fun stories they have, whatever. Enjoy yourself. It's entertainment. But if you're listening and you're expecting that Rogan knows what he's talking about, please check yourself. Rogan don't know shit. So just watch it for entertainment, but don't watch it and absorb any of this trash that he's actually spewing. Better yet, don't watch it at all. But I'm saying if you do watch it, just understand what you're listening to. Now, the next point here, I just want to point out how, I want to point out, I'm not doing this to defend Trudeau. If you go and search Trudeau on my YouTube page, you can see all my videos about Justin Trudeau. The majority of them, criticisms. So I am an objective commentator here. Yes, I lean left, but I don't lean liberal. So there's a difference there. I know if you're a conservative, this is very confusing to you. This world's completely new to you. You have no idea that there's an actual difference between the left and liberal, but there is. So check out those videos where I actually criticize him over real things, not about him being a dictator, but actual real things. So, I just want to point that out because anytime I do any video like this where I'm trying to dispel some garbage from the right, I'm not doing it to defend someone like Trudeau. I'm doing it to show that this person, in this case Joe Rogan, just has no idea what he's talking about. Now, on the next point here, where this point that Canada's communist Canada. Well, let's first check out the Freedom House Global Freedom Index. So this is a list of countries that Freedom House ranks as most free to least free. So they write here, Freedom House rates people's access to political rights and civil liberties in 210 countries and territories through its annual Freedom in the World report. All right, so you can look through more of their, how they actually come to this score. But Canada on this list is 5th place. All right, 5th place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's take a look at the U.S., which is, I don't know what number it is, but I know it's down here. All the way, did I pass it already? I may have passed it. There's the UK. No, let me just find it. United States. I'm not sure if it actually has the ranking beside it. So they're at 83 and 83. So all the way down here. Canada 5th, the US at whatever ranking this is. All right. Now, if that's not enough for you, this is just one list. You're like, oh, but the way they calculate this is bunk. It's crazy. Okay, let's check out the Cato Institute. All right. The Cato Institute is a libertarian think tank. Rogan has described himself in the past as libertarian. Our mission is to originate, disseminate, and advance solutions based on the principles of individual liberty, limited government, free markets, and peace. This is a very right-wing, pro-capitalist organization. All right? Here is their list, their Human Freedom Index. Canada is in 6th place. Where is the U.S.? Down at 15. So according to a right-wing, libertarian think tank, Canada much more free than America. Now, on the point of Trudeau being an effing dictator, because he shuts down his critics. That's why he's a dictator. He shuts down those critics. Well, let's take a look. Trudeau on trucker protest. We are not intimidated. Where Trudeau goes on in speech to say over the past few days, Canadians were shocked and frankly disgusted by the behavior displayed by some people protesting in our nation's capital. Talking about the some people that were the racists and the bigots. But let's be clear here. He was being too kind. That was, in fact, the majority of people in the convoy at that protest. He goes on to discuss how we won't give in to those who fly racist flags, won't cave to those who engage in vandalism. Anyways, I covered the convoy back when it was happening, and it was very clear what that was about. The organizers of the convoy were members of far-right groups. So I go on in other videos to discuss what that convoy was actually about. I can link to those videos below if you don't know. But basically, Trudeau here actually being too kind. And when it comes to who was in those protests, even the Canadian Trucking Alliance went on to say the vast majority of the Canadian trucking industry is vaccinated, with the overall industry vaccination rate among truck drivers closely mirroring that of the general public. And their statement goes on to say a great number of these protesters have no connection to the trucking industry and have a separate agenda beyond a disagreement over cross-border vaccine requirements. And you also have the Teamsters. Many truckers, of course, are a part of the Teamsters. So Teamsters Canada is proud to represent over 55,000 professional drivers from diverse industries across the country, approximately 15,000 of which are long-haul truck drivers, 90% of whom are vaccinated. The so-called Freedom Convoy and the despicable display of hate led by the political right and shamefully encouraged by elected conservative politicians does not reflect the values of Teamsters Canada, nor the vast majority of our members, and in fact has served to delegitimize the real concerns of most truck drivers today. Again, showing you the convoy was not really about truckers. But Rogan espousing on this topic as if he knows anything, clearly listening to just far-right outlets, having no actual knowledge of what was really going on there, what the organization behind it was really about. None of it. But that's what you expect from Joe Rogan. Last claim here. Why do you want everyone to get injected every 4 months? I literally don't know what he's talking about. So if you look at the stats on people and on Canadians that have the third dose, so just a single booster, less than half the country has a single booster, has a third dose. So what is this making us get the vaccine every 4 months thing? Like, what are you talking about? Is he encouraging people to get vaccinated? Yes, as any political leader does, as they all do. But no one's mandating it. You don't have to get these booster shots. But it doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. It's all BS. But that's what you have to come to expect now from the Joe Rogan Experience.